fish freshly caught from the pond and sprinkled with salt, and chicken smoked in barrels with fire at the bottom. What a fascinating journey into the world of traditional cuisine. Greetings from the snowy, captivating realms of Azerbaijan, where vibrant, clear streams dance gracefully amidst awe-inspiring vistas and the freshest of air. Get ready for village chaos, culinary adventures, and a great time with furry best friends. Don't forget to give a big thumbs up to this video, get notified, and subscribe to our channel to see more interesting recipes and learn more about the traditional Caucasian cuisine. There's nothing better than freshly caught fish straight from a pond nearby. This is not store-bought fish, filled with preservatives and colorants. In my youth, families tried to maintain their own households to avoid poisoning their children with pesticides, stimulants, and harmful additives. These are the traditions that my family and I uphold, and this is what we strive to share with others. It's very important to deliver the fish alive from the fishing trip quickly, so it doesn't spoil and loses its beneficial qualities. Today, we will be preparing trout. Before cooking, we humanely kill the fish and wait for a while. The ideal moment for cooking lies between stages 2 and 3. We generously salt the already gutted fish. This way, our fish completely loses the taste of raw meat and ripens. Salting also prevents mold from forming and keeps the fish starting to rot. Let's take a little break from cooking and enjoy the wonderful view of the snow-covered village. The birds are singing, there's a light snowfall, and fluffy tails are frolicking in the snow. Meanwhile, we're preparing our cooking area, and I'll quickly tell you the story of smoking fish under an oak barrel. It all started in Auchmithi, a small fishing village a few miles north of Arbroath in Scotland, whose population had originally settled there from Scandinavia. The women would salt the fish, then smoke them in barrels with fires at the bottom, while trapping the smoke under layers of Hessian sacking. In the early 1900s, some of the community began moving to Arbroath, and the fish they produced became known as the Arbroath Smoky. In the days before refrigeration, this was an important method of preservation. Salting removed a lot of the moisture where the bacteria gathered, and smoking killed the bacteria that were still present. The combination of the two processes allowed the fish to be stored for longer. Now let's talk a little about the process itself. The fish is covered in salt. Then pairs of them are tied together by the tail and hung up for about 24 hours. To smoke them, these pairs of fish are draped over metal rods that have been laid across the top of a wooden barrel that's having its top section cut off, with a fire burning inside. The fire burns initially for between 60 and 90 minutes, with a wet hemp cloth draped over the wooden barrel. Wetting it stops the hemp from catching alight and traps most of the heat, creating a very hot, moist environment. Once the required temperature has been reached, the wet hemp is removed, the metal rods with the tied fish hanging over them are placed over the top of the barrel. Then the cloth is draped back over them. The hanging fish are very close to the heat source, so they are being smoked at a very high temperature. Quite often, in fact, some of the fish will be licked by the flames of the fire. The high heat slightly crisps the outside, while the high humidity keeps the flesh moist. This is what gives the smoke that wonderful, almost creamy texture and deep smoky flavor that you cannot find anywhere else. We won't use a wet hemp cloth for our smoking today, but it doesn't mean that our dish will be worse. It's just another method for preparing this amazing dish. To start, we take, in my case, making it ourselves, a rack on which the fish and chicken will be hung and insert it directly into our barrel. This way, our meat will be evenly smoked on all sides and all the unnecessary fat will drip down. Guess who will be the first to try our finished dish? Of course, our fluffy pets. Today, they are not particularly in the mood for cooking, but just one look at them makes my heart smile. Meanwhile, let's move on to the chicken. First, we need to remove any hair from the skin and completely get rid of the feathers and down that remain after plucking. While we move on to the next stage of preparing our delicious dish, you can check out our assortment in the store. Who knows, you might find something that impresses your friends and makes your neighbors beg for your cooking secrets. By the way, shipping is free for orders over $150, and we will deliver to almost any country in the world. Just look at those pleading eyes. How can you not treat such a cute creature to a piece of the freshest meat? Meanwhile, let's move on to our future marinade for the chicken. We add some black pepper, crush it, and then transfer it to a larger bowl where our marinade will be. Next, we take a few cloves of garlic, add some salt, and crush the garlic with the salt until we get a thick paste. We add this to the pepper. What's a marinade without turmeric? This spice has anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, improves brain function, reduces the risk of cardiovascular diseases and cancer development. Also, we add paprika, chili pepper and salt. We drizzle everything with corn oil. Why? It's worth remembering that when heated, corn oil does not produce carcinogenic substances. It doesn't smoke, foam or burn during cooking. We marinate our chickens. Can you smell that aroma wafting through your screens? You definitely won't experience anything better today. While I lay out our chickens on the tray, enjoy some winter landscapes. Now we just need to wait a little longer. Most meat and poultry marinating recipes recommend marinating for 6 to 24 hours. So I suggest we all take a little break and enjoy the beauty of winter in Azerbaijan. The fog has cleared, the snowstorm has passed, the sky is clear, which means it's time to continue our exciting cooking. Enough time has passed. Salting fish of this size requires 2 to 3 days. So it's time to clean our fish from the salt so it doesn't become overly salty and tough. The soaking procedure is mandatory, regardless of how the fish was salted, although the traditional method doesn't require this process, and you can simply rinse the fish under running water. While our fish is being rinsed, let's move on to setting up our chickens on the rack for future smoking. We hang them on wires, making sure they hold them securely. Don't forget to follow us on our other social media, Instagram, Facebook and TikTok. We're waiting for you all there with new, interesting content and updates on our videos. The chicken are ready for smoking, so it's time to hang the fish. For this, we pierce them with a skewer from head to tail. And look at our spotted helper running over. The chickens and fish are hung. It's time to move on to the actual smoking. By the way, smoked fish has a high concentration of beneficial omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids. And don't forget to open the fish using toothpicks so it gets properly smoked both inside and out. The next step will be to place a small amount of cement on our bricks to attach a metal tray on top, ensuring it holds firmly. Be careful, kitten. This is definitely not what you need. We install the tray, pressing it firmly against the cement, and throw some wood underneath it. By the way, many prefer to use the cold smoking method, but in cold weather, hot smoking units work more effectively. This device doesn't need insulation, unlike cold smoking units. With cold smoking, this isn't possible in winter. The smoke at the output of the smoke generator can have a temperature lower than the required 20 degrees C. Next, we move on to obtaining wood dust. Wood dust is an eco-friendly resource without chemical additives that allows you to easily achieve the perfect flavor and mild smokiness when smoking. Wood flour is perfect for use on grills and in smokers. This 100% natural product, without additives, burns for a long time, creating the ideal smoke for the best flavor in contact grilling or slow smoking. We spread a small amount of wood dust on the tray and placed our rack with the chickens and fish on top. Finally, using a winch, we install a bucket with holes at both ends onto our structure and move on to the actual cooking of our meat. Be careful not to burn yourself. The metal heats up quite quickly. We toss in a bit more firewood and all that's left is to wait. The smoking time for fish in the smoker is no more than 2 hours. In some cases, an hour and a half is sufficient. The duration of hot smoking chicken at home ranges from 40 minutes to 1.5 to 3 hours. It all depends on the size of the carcass, the duration of salting, and the age of the bird. The older the chicken, the tougher the meat, and accordingly, it requires more time to cook. Now is the perfect time to enjoy some warming tea, straight from the samovar. For this, we throw in some charcoal through the top opening, place a metal tube on top, and soon we will be able to fully enjoy traditional Caucasian tea. To avoid freezing on the cold wooden bench, we use a natural fur skin. And you will sit with me, you little rascal. Come on, I know you like it. Don't pretend. Today, my furry friend and I are expecting many guests for a family lunch. I'm sure they will be amazed by my culinary surprise that I've prepared for them. The sun is now at its peak, which means the kids have already returned from school and are hurrying over for lunch. The water for tea is already ready. Let's brew it with it. And didn't you forget to give this video a like? If you haven't, do it right now. This way you'll support my channel and motivate me to create even more delicious and useful content for you. Let's leave our tea to brew and steep better, while the steam coming from the samovar will keep it from cooling down quickly in the cold. By the way, I chose hibiscus tea today, just for fun. It's a drink of pharaohs and kings. Hibiscus is considered a drink of youth, health and beauty, and it positively affects our body. Finally, we can truly enjoy the amazing winter views with a cup of strong red tea alongside my little black and white friend. It's just right for a cold, productive day full of culinary adventures. And here come our first little guests. That means it's time to get back to preparing lunch for them. I wouldn't want to disappoint them after all. I know why they came to me. Now we move on to preparing vegetables on the grill. We start with eggplant and bell peppers. It's very convenient that we cook them right next to the meat. Just look at those vultures. I feel like if I don't hurry, they'll eat me. I need to speed up. We cut the potatoes into small pieces so they heat up faster and better. We add salt and ground black pepper to give the potatoes some zest. Look how interested they are. Future chefs are definitely growing up. Don't forget to heat our vegetables well on all sides so that none of them ends up raw. We add the potatoes. What a beauty! My mouth is watering at this sight. The tomatoes are already ready. They usually take the least time to cook, only 7 to 10 minutes. My buddy has already caught a whiff of the delicious smell and is running for the first pieces, just taken off the fire. Meanwhile, we are already slicing the grilled tomatoes and turning them into a thick mash by finely chopping them. The other vegetables still need a little more time to cook completely, since we added them later. You know, my heart always warms when I see my children interested in home cooking, just like I was in my distant childhood. Meanwhile, we are already taking off all our other vegetables so they don't burn. Just a little more to go. Hang in there a bit longer, my dear ones. Uncle will feed you soon. Don't forget to check out our assortment in the store. Who knows, you might find something that impresses your friends and makes your neighbors beg for your cooking secrets. All information is in the description below the video, or you can also scan the QR code on the screen. Meanwhile, we have finally chopped all our vegetables and made vegetable korovats, a traditional Caucasian dish that pairs perfectly with shashlik. All that's left is to add some onion for flavor. What's meat without onion? That's not about the Caucasus. While I'm still busy cooking, the kids have already found themselves a new pastime, hide and seek. I'm so happy to see that they're not like other modern kids who are always glued to gadgets. They enjoy spending time outdoors and are interested in the same games I played when I was a little boy. This way, I feel that they are my continuation and carry on the traditions that I cherish and hold dear. Meanwhile, I have already selected the best pieces of juicy meat from the lamb leg and am now cutting them large enough to get tender steaks. I generously salt them on each side and add ground black pepper. I send the meat to the grill. Today, I'm in a meat mood, so there will be plenty of meat today. And it will be very diverse. Now our fluffy friend has perked up. He caught the smells of his favourite lamb. Just look at those golden brown pieces of juicy meat and this potato with a golden crust. I guarantee you that if you prepare such a dish for your relatives, they will never want to eat in restaurants again and will prefer home cooking. And now, the moment of truth. We take off the barrel with our chickens and fish. Wow, what a sight! The chicken looks simply amazing, just like the fish. The kids are already moving at this unmatched smell. The meat is also almost ready, just a few minutes left, and we will finally sit down at the table. The perfect presentation of meat in the Caucasus always includes lavash. We place the potatoes on lavash next to the meat. The lavash will absorb all the fat from the meat and potatoes, ensuring they don't lose their juiciness. Finally, we take off our fish and chicken. Don't forget to remove the wires. The chicken should be cut. Just look at this appetizing slice, at this perfectly white meat. The chicken has been smoked beautifully. Let's send it over to the rest of the meat. I wish I could share this amazing aroma with you. Food of the gods. We will conditionally divide the chicken into several sections for easier eating and to help it cool down faster and be ready for consumption. Next, we remove the wires and toothpicks from the fish. It's time for the chef to taste. Before that, let's tear off a piece for ourselves to try. It's tastier this way. Pure bliss. Smoking reveals the best flavors of the fish. The meat is also just right. Today is going to be a real feast for the stomachs. Super. I highly recommend this recipe. The whole family is gathered. Dinner is served. Enjoy your meal, everyone. And I'm waiting for the feedback from the most demanding judges. I see that everyone likes it. I'm glad I've pleased my family once again. Of course, we wash everything down with berry compote to further whet our appetites. And you, my dear subscribers, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, get notified, and give your likes. This will really greatly help our channel grow. Wow, I have a whole pack of hungry wolves at home. It's better not to disturb them now. I'm afraid they might bite my hand, mistaking it for a chicken leg. Now let's move on to the fruits. Bananas are the best healthy dessert for a child's stomach. Happy kids means I'm happy too. After all, that's my main mission, to make my family happy and full. Don't hesitate to follow the QR code on the screen or link in the description to our online store. This will greatly help my channel, and you'll get kitchen appliances of the highest quality. See you soon in new videos.
Super!